somebody was being... You see the A there? It says a diminuendo. This means you die away. Somebody was very proud with their A.
Normally, you would find David Nolan in the world's most prestigious concert halls. But today he's in Bethnal Green in the East End of London coaching children. He's the leader of the London Philharmonic Orchestra. Together with some of his colleagues, he's working with the teaching staff at the ILEA Tower Hamlets Saturday Centre for Young Musicians, coaching the children for a performance of Beginner's Please, specially composed for them by Carl Davis.
Take an up bow there. Hang on. Stop. Let's do an up bow on that crescendo. It often helps to play a crescendo on an up bow. It gives you more power. If you see a crescendo, try and arrange your bowing to be on an up bow.
If we start here, we're going to be in terrible difficulties because we've got no freedom to move. It's a bit too cramped. So if we start somewhere more like the middle of the bow, then you've got space to do your up bow and your down bow quite comfortably.
David Marcoux is the president of the London Philharmonic Orchestra. He's taking the youngest children.
2, 3, 1, 2. We've got war breaking out here because we've got half the orchestra going faster than the other half.
Last note, bottom note, together please. That's better. Now the scale again, don't forget the extensions. Okay, 3 and 4 and.
Roger Lunn is a cellist with the orchestra.
That's better, good. Now go from bar 88, please. I'll give you 3-4 this time to get the speed. 3, 4. Yeah.
The children who come here every Saturday learn their instruments at school in a group teaching project, in which whole classes learn the violin or cello. It was started 10 years ago for primary school children in Tower Hamlets, but its merits have been recognised by schools in other areas. Susanna Howard lives in Blackheath. Her mother is a teacher and her father a scientist. They both take a very active part in their children's education, with Sandy Howard concentrating on the musical side and David on the mathematical and scientific. For example, on most evenings he takes the children through a simple experiment.
This metal's called magnesium.
Magnesium.
You just feel that.
Let's see.
That's like, it is a metal, isn't it?
Feels more like plastic to me.
It's a very, very light metal. Could you just cut us a little piece off, Charles?
What if it doesn't work?
Just cut a small piece off there. Don't cut my fingers. I think it's part of general education. Music is very important to give them, not only the sort of scientific side, which I'm obviously interested in, but also the artistic side. And music is probably one of the best creative subjects in our view.
Gosh!
There you are.
Golly!
That's really good.
I think that microphone will catch fire.
Can we use it? Can we do it again?
I'm a 5th generation Salvationist, and we attend our local Salvation Army here at Lewisham. And so music has always been part of our life, if you like. And so we wanted to continue this activity with our children because it's always been a big part of what we do anyway.
Well, I find playing in tune quite easy sometimes, but if it's a piece where you have to slide around a lot or it's fast, then it's quite difficult. Well, I've been playing the cello about 2 years, 3 years. Well, I like the sound it makes and the notes. It's quite easy once you get the right technique. I want to either be a professional cellist in the Philharmonia Orchestra with my uncle Kevin, or a Salvation Army officer. But if I can't be those, I'd like to be a scientist.
The Howards looked very carefully at all of the schools in the area Susanna might go to. They were very impressed by Brooklands, particularly because of the group music teaching. Most of the children from this group go to the Tower Hamlets Saturday Centre. In terms of the standard of playing, Brooklands is the most successful school in the string teaching project. Many teachers believe that the serious study of an instrument has a wider educational benefit. This idea is one of the reasons behind the enthusiasm of the headmaster, Mark Evans.
I think the wider educational benefits are very much in evidence in that if you have this teaching offered to all children, you clearly have some children who are very confident and very supported. You have other children starting violin or cello who are the opposite of that. And what is very clear in my experience is that children who lack confidence, children whose role in the school, in a sense, is not that successful, quite often find in the music a way forward and gain tremendously, with effects on their overall work in the school, there's no doubt. Confidence affects children's overall performance. And clearly in this scheme, and within this school where the music is so used and where children really play, it does have a very definite and marked effect on their general performance and their general confidence and optimism about things. I think there's a lot of evidence that music helps and is a part of children's other skills. The evidence about the link between mathematics and music is quite well documented, and I would be confident to say that children who have this level of experience in music have a sense of in every way, of timing and a sense of the divisions of things that helps their mathematics. Clearly, concentration that's required in order to learn to read music and then to read music, if you like, under pressure, to sight read, as children clearly do, is bound to have an effect on general perception, is bound to have a sharpening of response that is to do clearly with a child's overall ability to extract information and to use it. So I would say I couldn't document the connection between reading and other skills that is actually aided by experience in music, but I'm quite sure it's there.
You need more bow for the crescendo, so whereabouts are you going to need the most bow? Are you going to need it at the beginning of the bow or at the end of the bow?
The end.
At the end of the bow. So if you hold it there, you'll have more.
Susanna's teacher is Vicky Miller.
Have a gap. Yeah, let's just try.
Susanna has made such fast progress that she now has a backup lesson on her own.
And take it at the right speed and see if you can hold it straight through to that G crescendo the whole way through, okay? 3, and...
This is her third year of learning. She spent the first year very much at the same level as the other children in the group. Took a while to settle down to the instrument. You notice she holds it not as if it's exactly a part of her, but rather to the side. She didn't feel immediately at one with the instrument. Took the first year really to settle down. I think she has a very natural left hand. She's always played well in tune, always wanted to play well in tune, and went for the vibrato straight away.
Just got to save more.
She has a remarkable facility with the instrument that she can just take on a new idea without any problem, and there's no real impediment to her continued progress that I can see.
Greenwich Park lies on the northern edge of the borough. If you look beyond the elegant architecture of the Royal Naval College, your eye will collide with the tower blocks of the East End. The children from Brookland School go there once a week to the Tower Hamlets Saturday Centre. It's housed in the Central Foundation Girls' School, which on other days of the week echoes to the sound of normal classes. The String Teaching Project operates only in primary schools, so when a child moves on to secondary school, group lessons cease, and instrumental teaching usually takes place after school. Jenny Adajan is 13.
Very good. It was beautiful. Now,
Jenny's teacher is Jerry Howard.
when you're going to be a really good musician, if you're going to be somebody that people will pay money to go and see and hear, you've got to be a bit of an actor. Now, you see, if I close my eyes and listen to you, I can hear terrific, loud sounds and passionate feelings and everything. But if I open my eyes and look at you, it's as if somebody else was actually playing it. Yeah? Not you at all. Or perhaps it is you. I mean, you're a very nice person, you see. And I don't really think that the sounds we want at the end of this piece would be made by somebody being very nice. Be somebody feeling very angry or very excited at any rate. Okay, so when you play it, you've got to look excited. Let's see if we can do...
Well, I started the cello in my primary school, and, well, Jerry Howard and a few other teachers came to our primary school and just asked us, well, they just told us about the violin and the cello, and they told us to walk around stiff and then floppy, and then they just told us how to play the cello, and then we had to go on the violin and the cello. Then they picked the people for the different instruments.
There must be somebody you hate. Oh, probably isn't, but just imagine that you were really cross. Okay, off you go. Look, cross up. That's it, go on. Go on, scowl. Oh, Jenny, you're not supposed to giggle. Now,
Jenny was born in Bethnal Green, but she now lives in Waltham Forest. When at the age of 7 she announced that she was learning the cello, no one was more surprised than her mother.
Well, I remember I came home and my cello was in the corner, and then I told her that I was playing the cello, and she just, the first time, brought my cello home, and she asked me what I was playing, and I said Cowboy Chorus, and she said, well, let's hear it, you know, and she was really excited, and she wanted to hear me play the cello, and so I was playing all night, you know, because she wanted to hear what I was doing. Things like that.
What are you having, John? You don't want anything, okay? When she was very young, about 3, some member of our family bought her a little toy piano, you know, for Christmas. And she used to play tunes on this, you know, by ear. She used to just sort of play tunes and we say, oh, look at this child playing music, you know. So you sort of felt she had an ear for music as such. But the cello, then I was surprised, you know, that bit I was surprised that she took to it so readily, you know.
Jenny's mother came from the West Indies and her father from Nigeria, two quite different cultures.
I haven't come from Africa, where music is entirely different. Because, you know, I'm used to listening to African music. I really don't understand classical music to any great length. And the way she took to it and fairly understood it, it's still a surprise to me. I would have thought she would have been more inclined to playing sort of African music or West Indian music rather than the classical side of music. Come from a society where our parents, say like my parents, wanted me to be maybe lawyer, accountant, or whatever. But in this society, it's entirely different. Any child in this society could pick up anything, say like music, like she's doing, and come top at the end. So, as my wife has just said, if she wants to do music, it's all right with me. But I mean, if I have to choose for her, I know what I would like her to be. But being in a different society, the one I was born in, it's entirely up to her. If she's she's quite keen at the moment, and if she carries on, if she says to me, look, Dad, I want to be a cellist, which she's telling us at the moment. She says she wants to grow up to be a cellist. And she's got my 100% support for that.
I think learning the cello has changed my life a bit, yeah. Because if I didn't play the cello, I don't know what I would have done instead. I wouldn't know what I wanted to be.
In January 1987, the children from the Tower Hamlets Music Centre were offered the use of the Purcell Room. So on a stage that has featured world-famous cellists like Jacqueline Dupre and Paul Tourtellier, Jenny Adajan made her solo debut. She played a movement from the cello concerto in A minor by Vivaldi. Next week, Beginners Please will look at how group teaching works for the piano.